Hi there, Heidi Mackay, and today I'm going to talk about something that I heard on one of our big team calls yesterday from our senior vice president. It was a fabulous, fabulous discussion, and I'll recount what I heard, but do it in video. So I'm going to be reading a little bit, but bear with me because this is excellent information. So it's all about the distinction, and excellence and getting good at anything is all about finding a distinction and then applying it. If you apply stuff that isn't a distinction, that's not going to work, and if you have a distinction that you don't put into practice, that doesn't work either. So distinction combined with putting it into practice. So I'll talk about the distinctions and then about you putting this into practice. So here we go. It's about two different mentalities. And this is what distinguishes people who are successful in life and in everything compared to people who are mediocre. And some people, once they get the distinctions, their life is off like a rocket, because it's not that they don't want the excellence, they don't know how to find the distinctions and then apply them. So it's about being a survivor versus being a champion. And being a survivor is all about surviving. And if you are just surviving, you are not called to a high enough place. And it lets you hide in their surviving and therefore not achieve excellence. So instead of surviving, really successful people are grateful for every little thing that they've got. Grateful, grateful, grateful. And in fact, you could start the morning by doing even 2 minutes of what you're grateful for. And that will set up your whole day to be much more open to receive, because receiving starts with gratitude first. That's the door that opens the gate to you receiving. Second, survivors are always competing and comparing, and the reason is because they're coming from a small place. It's coming from a place of scarcity, not abundance. So when you're coming from a place of scarcity, it's all about who's better, who's worse, this and that. When you come from a place of excellence or being a champion, it's about inner excellence. You don't care how anyone else is doing. It's not what it's about. You're able to be creative. You're able to invent your life. You're able to sit around and learn for a while and let other people move forward, because in the end, that's what's going to build your success. So you're completely unconcerned about others other than your own excellence. And if you do look at others, it's as a signpost for how you could get better. It's not about beating the other person. Survivors avoid risk. Again, coming from a small, fearful place. And champions manage risk. So they take risks and create containers around them. Survivors live a small life, and champions don't. Small's just not on. So it's always, how much more could I explore? How much better could I get? All of that stuff. Oh, this one's huge. This next one is just huge. Survivors love comfort, just like a cat. Comfort, comfort, comfort. Now, all human beings are wired to love comfort. It's part of surviving. But if you're going to grow and if you're going to be your best, you need to live at least half your life outside your comfort zone. And what happens is living outside that zone actually becomes your new comfortable. It just takes living there for a while, and then it will become comfortable too. So you have more to lose by not going there than going there and living there a lot of the time, because top athletes, that's where they live. Survivors focus on having. Again, it's coming from a small, closed, fearful place. What could I get? Instead of being. Being in the world, if you're being your best you, things will just naturally come to you. It's energy. This one's a big one too. Survivors are in friendships for what they can get. I found this out the hard way. So many people are friends for what they can receive. It hasn't even crossed their mind that champions are in friendships for what they can contribute and the joy they can bring, and they're not deal doing. You know, if you're looking for what you can have or get, you're doing a deal. That's not friendship. It's actually extremely unkind if you really analyze it. And I know I go right to the core, but that's where the answers are. Sorry. So when you're coming into a relationship and wondering what you can contribute, you need to be whole yourself first. And then you're able to contribute to somebody else. So yeah, maybe do some work on yourself for a whole year before going into another relationship, because you'll attract a different quality of person, you'll be a different quality of person, and you'll be in a relationship for the right reasons, which is the joy that you can bring to the world. Survivors have pipe dreams, and champions have vision with a plan. There's a difference. A pipe dream is so far in the future that it keeps you out there dreaming, and it's a trap actually, and it's very difficult to sort of see. But your dream, if it's too far out, will lock you into that and keep you out of daily action. It's the daily action that has you realize your dream. So you need the dream, plus you need a monthly plan, a yearly plan, and a plan every week that hooks into the monthly and yearly plan. Survivors are always focusing on problems. Again, because you're coming from here. Problems, problems, problems. And champions are always finding solutions. They don't have any fewer problems. They just get solutions and spend very little time in the problem zone. Survivors are victims, and champions are 100% responsible for their life. So when something goes wrong with a champion, they look at it and say, okay, I'm 100% responsible for my life. Even though the behavior over there wasn't okay, I'm still responsible for my life. So what could I have done differently? So for example, I had a whole bag of magazines stolen last week. Now, should it have happened? No, it shouldn't have. And I had to go up to the front of a room, and by the time I got back, I didn't realize until a couple of hours later they were gone. And however, I'm responsible, because the solution is for me to buy the magazines, put them in my car, and come back. That's responsible, okay? Survivors think they know enough, and champions are always learning. Always, always. You look at the people always wanting to learn and know more, they are the champions. They're not full of themselves, really. Survivors are fearful, which all of this has consolidated into that, and champions choose growth. So champions won't let their fear take over, and it's almost like you have a container in your body, but you get to choose who wins, who can occupy that space. So sometimes I call it, do you let the devil occupy that space, or the best of you, the good energy. And you have to always weed out the devil stuff and make sure you've got clean, positive energy in your body at all times. Well, we never have it at all times, but as soon as the whole point every day is to find the weeds, get rid of them, clean the tank out, and have positive energy at the beginning of every day, because it makes a huge, huge difference. So a survival mentality is a lower form of living, net. If you're in a survivor mentality, you cannot possibly live fully. And champions live fully. And then the survivors are jealous of them. Don't be jealous. Move over to a champion mindset and you'll have the same thing. It is a higher level of responsibility, getting to the core again. So go deep, take more responsibility for your life. A whole big piece of owning your life is you've got to be more responsible for every nook and cranny of it than you previously were. And that's a huge, huge difference. So a lot of people think they own their life, they own part of it. But if you now go into all the pockets and extend that envelope even further and own every nook and cranny, you'll take more responsibility, you'll elevate yourself to a higher level, and you'll take off from a higher platform. Hope that helps. It's your life. You're the only one that can own it. Take control of it. Thanks. Bye.